Hey, I'm Will. Welcome to Cardboard Minute. We're going to be taking a look today at Luna Capital. This is a game published by Devir Games and designed by Jose Ramón Palacios. I apologize if I mispronounced the name. This is a tile drafting game where we are building our area of little building tiles on the moon, trying to compete to make the best city. We are building various infrastructure tiles and housing and different properties that will score adjacency points, essentially. And today I will show you guys how to play. I will show the solo mode and how that works. I will run through a full solo game, and then if you want to skip to the end, I will give my review afterwards. All right, here I have the game set up for a one-player game with the Harrington and Sons robot on this side. The opposite side of the board is for 2 or more players. You have a slot for the cards. You're going to randomly choose 2 green concession cards with some scoring objectives and a red scoring objective. And I'll move these over once I begin a solo playthrough, but they're here just to make some more space. There is different columns where you will be placing a card and a tile, and this will increase throughout the rounds, and we'll show how that works. These tokens, which once you collect them from the matching building, you'll be able to spend on your turn, at the end of your turn, to switch into tiles. And these robots, which will help you in placement of cards. You'll determine a random first player, and each player will get a little tile showing what company they are. I am the Space Royal Cruise, and I have these cool little robot tokens, which I think look a lot like the spaceships from the Tintin or Tintin comic books from Jose that I grew up reading. So that's why I'm choosing these guys. You'll deal each player a hand of 3 cards. I have 2 set up here for solo, which I'll get back to. And you'll be placing all of the Phase A tiles into this unfortunately shaped tile tower. Before doing so, though, you will remove any tiles that will have little dots, which will be shown to the left of the tile symbol. And you'll remove tiles based on the number of dots equals to the number of players. So if you're playing at 2 players, you will remove all tiles that have 2 or more dots on them. And that's how the game is balanced. I've opted for putting tiles in a bag, just to make it a little bit easier for switching the tiles out during the gameplay and the review. But if you choose to randomize them and stack them in the tower, that's up to you. So on your turn, you will be first taking a column of things from one of the 3 different choices. If you choose, however, to take the stuff located beneath the last delivery tile, you'll have to discard a card from your hand as payment. Otherwise, you'll just take everything in that column. So in this case, I could take the 4 and this building, and then you'll place the card first, and then you'll place all the buildings. Now for card-specific placement, cards always have to be placed in one of 3 rows, and they have to be placed in numerical order in each row. So each row could have a 1 to 10 with no repeats, and they have to be in order. So if you skip from 4 to 6, then you're never going to be able to place a 5 in there. So do beware of that. Also, all cards have to be orthogonal to each other, and this is how you're going to start building out your column. So if I place one first in the middle, I could place the next one above it or to the left in this case because it's a 1, or below. But then I have to build my future rows based on those. Then after you place the card, which by the way could be a card from your hand, doesn't have to be specifically a card that you drafted, you'll then place all buildings that you acquired on that turn. Buildings come in a variety of different types, which you'll be scoring adjacency bonuses, and you'll have to place them all. And the main goal of the game is to get different groupings of buildings together, essentially. But beware, because certain cards will have either things like pre-printed buildings, which will count as a building already having played there, or meteors, which you may not build over unless you were able to take one of these orange construction tiles, which you could then place over the meteor or any other building for that matter, and then build on top of that. Or the construction site can only be built over by a building with the yellow house symbol. So that's the only spot that those can go. Unless, of course, you built the orange digger tile first on top of that. One specific thing about card placement is you'll see some cards will have a individual 4 locations for buildings, whereas some will have like a mega location. It could be in different patterns. And those mega locations, you can only place one building on top of them. And you may just want to put it in the middle or sideways or something to show that you're filling that whole area. But that will count as adjacency to anything that is around it. So it's a good spot to place scoring tiles. If there is any bonuses given immediately from the tiles, for example, tiles showing robot symbols, or the ones showing this house, not the house, sorry, the little recycling triangular symbol, you can grab tokens that match those immediately. Now, the recycle symbol, which actually lets you switch placement of 2 buildings at the end of your turn, you could save that token and spend it later. And the robots, which once they enter your collection, you could place them on top of cards that you play to cover over the number, allowing you to place that tile essentially out of order. So they're quite powerful to have, and there's not many of them. So you will be doing that through one round, so everybody will take a turn, and refilling the order shown as, where did I put my tile? You're filling the market as shown, and moving the last turn tile over to the spot that was just taken. So you would have to skip that, right? Remember, you have to discard a card from your hand if you want to take the tile where that, or the collection of tiles and cards where that token is. Once everybody has taken a turn, you'll move on to round 2, where in this time, instead of refilling each area to 1, you'll immediately draw more tiles from the bag until each area has 2 tiles. And then from now on, you're going to be taking 2 tiles at a time, plus the cards. And then after the end of the second round, you're going to bump them up to 3. At the end of the third round, bump them up to 4. So in the 4th turn, or for 4th round of the game, on your 4th turn, you'll be taking 4 buildings at a time and 1 card. Then, after that turn, you reset everything. So the cards will stay, all the buildings will get removed, and you'll draw new buildings from the level B. And which, if you want to use a tower, you can go ahead and bring them back to just 1 building per column of the B variety, and doing it all over again. So doing a full round, bumping them up to 2 buildings, rounds, 3 buildings, and 4, and then cycle and do it all again for C. After that phase, so it'll end up being 12 turns, or 4 rounds per each of 3 phases. The game will be over and you'll score. If at the end of a phase you can score one of the objectives, you can place your marker on that objective to show that you've scored it. If there are multiple players who have been able to achieve the objective, you can each place a token there. However, in future rounds, that objective is no longer allowed to be scored by other players. So you have to kind of do them all at once or skip them entirely. Now, different buildings, and what do they do? The most simple one is the little cash symbol. That's just worth 2 points at the end of the game. Meteors, which could come in the form of buildings or in cards, have a majority bonus. So the player who has the most gets 10 points. And then second place for 2 players is 2 points, there's no bonus for second player if there's 2 players. At 3 players, it's 10 and 2. And for 4 players, it's 10 and 5 and 2 for majority. We have then a series of these housing modules, which are shown by a heart. And they come in, it's very hard to see because they're small. There's squares, triangles, and hexagons. Those you will look at the largest contiguous orthogonal group, so the largest group where they're all connected orthogonally. And the score pad has a little sliding scale where you'll get larger points for the single largest group of each of those building types. So you'll score squares, triangles, hexagons, and then you're going to score the little bubble buildings. These are the farms or gardens, and they have a little bubble. They also have a heart in them to remind you to score them this way. And despite whatever fruit is shown inside the farm, you will also score the largest contiguous orthogonal group, showing the chart. Then you will move on to looking at what fruits you have in the buildings, and the fruits could be anywhere on your map at the end of the game, and you'll look at how many sets of unique or individual fruits you have. So there are 3 different fruit types, having a set of each. The first set is worth 5 points, 2 sets is 12, 3 sets is 22. And there are wild buildings that have all 3 on them. Next, you will look at the houses, and they come in 1 blue dot, 2 blue dot, or 3 blue dot varieties. Ones of a single blue dot, which remember these are the only buildings that can be placed over the construction sites. Single blue dots look at buildings around them directly, in which case you get 2 points per specific type of building. The buildings that have, or the houses that have 2 blue dots mean that they usually give 1 point per a building type anywhere in your map. And the tiles with a 3 dot house have a unique action where you will draw 3 cards and then keep one of them, discarding the rest. So that's the only real way to bring your hand size back up after you have been discarding to fulfill the last order token. And then lastly, you'll get 3 points per card left in your hands and score whatever concessions that you were able to complete. And then the highest score is the winner. All right, so the solo, like I said, you are playing on the solo board. All the AI does is collect things. That's it. It's very simple. And it is always going to collect the packet or the column furthest to the right that does not have the last order token on it. So in this case, you would collect these and just put them aside and then refill the market. And at the end of the game, the AI will score everything it has collected as if it had perfect adjacency. And everything else scores completely the same as yours, except that houses only score, or 1 and 2 star dot houses just score a flat 5 points value. And then we have the things like logistics and the switcheroo building just score an even 2 points each. Same for the 3 dot houses, or a flat 2 points each. They also count as having completed each objective. You, however, in order to score the full points for objectives, have to complete green ones in phase A, or you get half points if you complete them in phase B and nothing in phase C. And the red objectives, you get full points if you complete them in phase A or B, or half the value if you complete them in phase C. So it's fairly easy to manage, but there will be some math at the end of the game that you'll have to keep up on. Also, you will get 2 different hands of 3 cards, and you'll have to pick one of them to keep, and then remove the other one from the game in order to start. All right, so I'm going to move these objective cards over to the side here so we can see them a little more easier. We have build 3 fruit buildings in a row, and that is not on necessarily on separate cards, but in complete adjacency to each other. Then we have one of each type of the heart building, so that is the 3 different residences plus a fruit building, all in kind of one orthogonal group, 8 points. And lastly, have 5 or more fruit buildings, which can be difficult. Fruit buildings are not especially easy to get. Then I'll have to decide what card grouping I want to keep. Let's see, none of these have have good numbers on them. So maybe I'll take this group since it seems the most varied. And then begin. I'm just going to put this off the side for now. Since I'll probably go for fruit, since there's a couple of objectives for fruit here. Let's take this grouping here and begin with maybe something more middle of the road, like a 7. And I'm going to put that fruit here. Then the AI is going to take the furthest right spot, and I'm just going to kind of group things here so we can see them a little more easier. Let's move it up a bit. Try to group them by type so we can kind of keep score a little bit as we go. And then he'll take that. We're going to refill. And refill each space. Plus, since this is the second turn or second round, we're going to add another building. So there's going to be a little bit more going on here. Okay. You know what? I think I'm gonna have to go for these because these two bonuses actually work quite nicely together because there's building and then a scoring adjacency bonus. So I'm gonna take that, and I think I might put that over here and just hope I don't get an 8 later. And then I have to place both of these. So let's maybe place that house here and put the building right next to it. Okay, so I've taken this one. The AI is going to take the card. I'm just going to put this one off the side because there's nothing on it. And let's group these buildings. So you have one of this type, and these are all worth 2 points at the end. Okay, refill. Okay, we have a printed 2-point card. And I'm just going to go 1 and 1 until everything is evenly filled. Ooh, double robots. That could be useful. However, I'd have to discard a card to take it. I'd love to get some more fruit, but I think as far as numbers go, it might make sense to go straight for the 6. And maybe place it there, because I mean, when am I going to get that combination again? And let's start moving these off the side somewhere. So maybe we'll put that here. Put this here. I'm thinking of maybe building around these. And put the money symbol over here, which is just worth 2 points. So I've taken this location. The AI is going to take this. Card's worth nothing. They have a house, bonus tokens, and a money symbol. Oh, you know what? I think they don't get points for robots now that I see that. Okay, we've taken that one. Let's refill. Let's bring them all up to speed. So we're going all the way up to 4 now, which is a fair amount of tiles. I'm not sure if it's even possible to get 3 fruit in a row at this point. Like, is there even that many in here? Probably not. Oh, yeah. Nope, it's not going to happen. I would love this fruit tile to start working on my combinations. But I have to discard a card, and I'm not sure if I want to do that right now. Because that just means I have less options, right? So it's not ideal, but you know what, maybe I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna get rid of the 2. Oh, you know, this 4 is kind of hard because it's got 2 things on it. I'm gonna get rid of that. And I'm going to take this combination here and place it See, I need to get things kind of adjacent here. So that's going to go there. Maybe I'll place it up above this way. Yeah, I'll place it over here. Put that in there. Start working on a row of fruits, and then the meteor. Let's just get it out of the way somewhere. Okay, the AI is going to take this last one. They're going up to 2 meteors, 3 meteors, 2 of these buildings, new sets, and 2 of those. All right, that is the end of the phase. We're going to get rid of the rest of the level 1 tiles. Refill the cards. Oops. Uh-oh. A couple of 1s. And switch to Bs. So we're going all the way back here, back down to 1. 1 tile to draft. And I still don't have the fruit I need. So unfortunately, because of the AI, I am only going to be able to get half value on these 2 green units. Oh, actually, did I complete? Oh, I wonder if I completed this one. So this is 4 different types or orthogonal. No, I did not. Because there's a house in the way. Okay. All right, gotta work on that. Okay, I think, the robot could come in handy. I don't think the 1 is especially useful. But I think the robot definitely could be. So I'm going to take this packet. And maybe just, oh, no, I don't want to do that. Below? No. I want to get this one in here. Oh, I don't know if I want to cut that one row off yet. Let's squeak in like this and place that here. And I get a robot. And the AI is going to take that and another meteor. Refill. And refill back up to 2 buildings. Okay, we have an example here of the 2-dot building where I get 1 point per money symbol building, which I only have 1 right now, so that's not worth it. I think this one, however, not only has a nice building printed on it, it comes with 2 of these, which I already have a nice little group going. So let's place them. I wonder if it's too early to use my building. I mean, I can place one here. I can place one here. And it would be nice if I could extend that, but I think I'm going to have to just jump over here and place a 2. Yep, my options are limited. Okay, I'm giving 2 more meteors. I think he's definitely going to win that bonus now. I'm trying to prevent how many of these special buildings, how many of the housing buildings he gets, because he'll score perfect adjacency, which is pretty unfair. I'll give my thoughts on that more in the review. One, two. There's 1 point per house on your board. 2. Oh, for the squares, that one's good. That one comes with a square. Oh, okay. I'm not sure if I wanted that one originally, but that one would be worth a couple of points, for sure. But this one has more adjacency bonuses. Oh, and it comes with 1 too. Oh, yeah. Here we go. Take this one. I am going to use my robot to cover that 8 because I don't want to commit that far that soon, you know. And let's place let's place that there. Place him here. He's going to go in the middle. And I'm going to place this just anywhere. He's going to go over on these construction locations because he can. All right, AI is going to take a nothing card, 2 more meteors, and another one of these square houses. And a refill. And we're going to go up to 4 now. Oh, no, there's the fruit I needed. This is my last chance to get... Oh, and more fruit. Oh. Am I going to have to discard a card for that? This is my last chance to get any points from concessions. So I'm as much as I would love this one for the 2 points per square, I think the fruit, because this is enough here alone that I might be able to get. I might be able to complete all of them. Yeah, I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna have to discard a card. It's rough, but I'm gonna discard another one to take this grouping. And where I'm gonna place. They're gonna have to be next to each other, so I think the only place I can go, yeah, is down here. Yep, it's gonna have to be. I need to get that orthogonal fruit bonus. So I know I'm gonna be getting 3 in a row. Yeah, I'm gonna get most of them here. Let's connect that. Oh, but then the triangle ones don't match up. You know, maybe I'll forget that one's here, and I'll put them this way. Kind of cuts off the square building. But now I can put my triangles through here in an even bigger group. So I think that will be good for me. Okay, AI is going to get another meteor. Demolishing a couple of houses for level 1 and 2. And another one of those buildings. Okay, that is the end of the phase. We're going to move on to phase C. Let's throw these back in. Get some new cards. And he took that one. And let's draw, oh no, that's the A's. There's the C's. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Oh, 2 points per meteor around it. Okay. First, I'm kind of out of time for this one. But this group is pretty nice for me. I don't have any better cards to use, so I'll put that here and add another one in. AI is going to take this. So these buildings will kind of go together, and another one of these. And then a refill. One and one. So I think having played this a few times, so I think the strategy for the AI is going to be fill him with meteors. Don't let him collect huge amounts of stuff, which is tricky, but probably necessary. This one looks bad. I mean, another diamond. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 diamonds. I'm not going to be able to beat them with meteors. Fruits, I already have too many yellow fruits. I need more other colors right now. Because I'm sitting at Let's see, 2 yellow fruits, an orange, and 2 wilds. So I don't quite have 3 sets yet. I have some more good for the square. The card with the black hexagon is not going to fit anywhere without a robot. So I think my best bet is to take this 5 because I can stick it right there. Add more diamonds and maybe smash meteor down here. Hopefully I'll get one of these meteor adjacency bonuses. So I'll take this one. He is going to get another meteor and 2 of these buildings, which I didn't want to give him because he's got 4. But I think it's just going to have to be, ooh, a green fruit and a 10. That is actually perfect. Get my bags confused now. All right, 1, 2, 2, 3. Ooh, another green. 3, 3. Oh, I mean, this one's good though, because it's scores for black, but I'd have to discard my last card, and that is not good. So I'm going to take this grouping with a 10, which is kind of really just perfect. If I put it here, will I be able to connect them for a large group of fruits? No, I'm already past that point. So let's put them up here. I'm gonna drop my fruit down here into my group of fruits. Put hexagon here and put diamond there. Okay, he's gonna take another hexagon. Oh, another square. Ouch. A fruit and a money. That's probably as best as I could hope. Which is, oh, you know what? I'm sorry. I should have moved my token. Sorry, he was going to take a hexagon. No, he's hexagon card. What was it? A money, square, and a fruit. Yeah. Okay, he's actually taking the right one. I forgot to move my token. My mistake. I always get kind of nervous when I play and mix things up. Okay, and so we hit that one. And then now from last turn of the game, we're going to fill in up to 4 tiles now. So 1. Ooh, these wild fruits are going to give me some good sets, although 3 sets is the max. So I don't want to go higher than that. Maybe if I get a good adjacency bonus thing, that would be ideal. And more fruits. What do I got here? Okay, I've got yellow, orange, green. And then I have wild. Oh wait, no, I have 2 greens. Yellow, orange, green. And then I have yellow, green, wild. And then I have another wild. So if I take the 3 more fruit, that's a 3rd set. That's pretty huge. And I have a good spot for the square. And I have a spot for the 1 building, so that could be good. Another diamond could be nice too, and a card. The building is not helpful though, because there's nowhere for me to place it legally. And the black hexagon is not worth it. So yeah, I'm gonna discard my last card to take this grouping. And I guess I'll put it over here. There's a hexagon, fruits. I guess it doesn't matter where the other fruit goes. And I never did get a meteor adjacency, it was just too bad. Okay, he's going to take the furthest to the right spots. More money. Another one of these. One of those. And a fruit. And that is a game. So all that's left is to add up my score. Oh, you want? I totally forgot objectives. Okay, so I did get half points on those, and I'm pretty sure I got full points on that one because I finished that by the end of the second round. All right, so that is it. We are going to score. We'll just do my score because the AI is, I guess we can walk through them both quickly. All right, largest grouping of each of the four different types. So squares, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 square buildings. That is 10 points. Then for diamonds, this is the big one, I think, here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 for 35 points. The hexagons, 1, 2, 3, 4, because this guy's adjacent to both since he's in a large spot. And 4 is 10 points. And then largest grouping of fruit of our farms, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, 6 of them is 20 points. All right, sets of fruits. I do believe I have all 3 now. Yellow, yellow, yellow. And I have green, green, wild, and orange, wild, wild. So all 3 is 22 points. Meteors, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 6. And he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, he's got lots more. So I don't get anything for that. The money symbol buildings, I have 1 for 2 points. Now the adjacency bonus buildings, I have 1, 2. Oh, this is for 2 pointers. Oh no, sorry, it's 1 point for every 1 pointer. Oh, sorry, one dot, which is just 1. So it's 1 point for this guy, and he is looking at adjacencies here, which is just 4 points. So that's 5 total. It's not very good in terms of those guys. And I have no cards left over. I got half points for those and full for that. So 3, 7, 10, 17. Okay, and then the AI is, yeah, they're going to get the 10 for the majority. They're getting for squares 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for squares is 15 points. Diamonds, they actually have none, surprisingly. And in hexagons, they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is 20 points. For fruit, they have 1 is 1 point. They have no fruit sets. They get 2 points per money building. 1, 2, 3, 4 is 8. They get 5 points per 1 and 2 point buildings. So it's 10, 20, 30 points there. They do not count having cards left over, but they get 2 points for each of these buildings. So 2, 4, 6, 8, sorry. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 points there. And they count as scoring all full concessions. So there is a full 24 points there. And oh no, they do score a full hand of cards. So that's 9 points in cards there. So I'm going to write that in over there. All right, so final scores. I scored a total of 121 points, and the AI scored 127 points. So I thought it was doing pretty good. This is my high score yet. I tried my best to block the AI, but it didn't quite work out. So let's move on to the review. All right, so that was Luna Capital, a pretty fun little, not quite engine building, but map building, adjacency, area game where there is an excellent card drafting method. I really like the card drafting. The fact that, really packet drafting is always very interesting. The fact that you grab a card and the tiles with it has been done before, and but the fact that it grows each round and then flips, like, you know, getting a card in one tile, then a card in 2 tiles, and then 3 tiles and 4 tiles, and then switching back down to 1 is such a cool game arc. So it kind of goes in waves where you're slowly building in, you're getting tons of space, and all of a sudden you're like got a whack of cards and a whack of tiles, and you have to fill them all in. So that works extremely well. The laying out in a map is pretty crunchy and interesting too. I feel like there are not enough robot tiles in the game. Having a little bit more here and there would make it far easier to hit those targets. Because I think I was fairly lucky with how the numbers came out. They could have been quite different, and it would have been harder. I played this at a higher player count where the numbers you're looking for just really weren't coming out, and you had to make leaps, and then you were running out of space. If you ever can't place a card somewhere, you have to place one face down, which is a huge detriment. As you can see here, I only have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 open spaces. And if I had more double spaces, that would have been taken up faster. You know, a single card down is potentially 4 spaces missing. And, you know, do that twice, and you're definitely not going to have room for everything. So that's pretty punishing, and again, I think the extra robots would have helped with that. But it is still a cool method of forcing you to do things in a line. We've seen this a little bit before in the Welcome To game series, but that one had much more options of where you can place numbers, so it was mitigated a little bit better, I think. And then the switching, the double switching 2 tiles, again, there just wasn't quite enough of them to make use of some of those mitigation related things. There's also no way to disjoint the packets, like we've seen in Cascadia, which, if you want to check out my review of Cascadia, that is a great example of being able to do a packet draft just exceptionally well, and providing a method to, you know, lose a point in order to detach the two things. So like you could take, you know, the one from one group and then something from the other group instead. I think that would have really helped a lot too, have something like that. Not necessarily necessary, but I do feel like the balance in the tiles is a little bit off and maybe not quite as lenient. In terms of the actual tile placement, it worked. It was fun, but I can't see a lot of replayability in this. After playing this several times, it's already gotten pretty stagnant, where you're essentially just trying to put each of the different categories in orthogonally contiguous groups. And you're basically doing that for everything, with the occasional bonus building next to them as they wrap around or whatever for additional bonus points. That's basically it. And you're juggling 5 different building types while also doing that. There's really nothing else there. And I feel like that little map placement, it does get a little bit stale. So that's a bit of a knock towards that. Components are great. Cards are okay quality. The tiles are nice. You know, the wooden pieces are nice. You do have to build all these little fun contraptions and the unfortunate rocket, but they come together quite well. The instructions are fairly clear, and even without glue, they're designed in such a way that they are quite solid. And you do actually build a little tray to hold the 3 different phases of tiles in it. So that helps, because there is no insert in the box. That, you know, you're essentially building the insert, but it is a usable insert. Now, getting all the tiles kind of sorted and into the rocket ship for drafting is a big pain, and I think takes too much work. And that's why, really, if you want to this game hit the table more often, get some bags just to throw the tiles in, and away you go. And when I play this with more players, and instead of doing the video, I just threw all the tiles of one phase in the bag, and then one drawing of them if they were not for that player count, and just get rid of it and draw another one. And that way I'm not spending a whole bunch of time sorting tiles out and kind of wasting the time. Objectives are always nice in board games. They are pretty samey though, especially the green ones are pretty much the same varieties for each of the different types, so there's not much to see there. The red ones do change up a little bit, and there's some groupings and longer lines and more perfect shapes and things on your board, which is nice. So I think it's a tough recommendation of this one. Like I think in the vacuum, this game is a lot of fun. I think a lot of people would enjoy the drafts and the puzzle of figuring out your little map. It's not. I mean, it's a pretty looking game in terms of the art, but there's a lot of gray. It does help the buildings to stand out, but the icons are exceptionally small as well. So, and maybe a little light if you're having trouble seeing. I could see that being a problem for some people. And but like I said, in the vacuum, I think this is a very interesting game where you're drawing tiles and placing them. But the fact that there already exists, Cascadia or Verdant, which is coming, or other games where you are drafting groups of things at a time and making a puzzle, I can't recommend this over those. But I mean, if you're looking for something a little bit different, again, I think this is well worthy in some people's collections. It's maybe a little bit too fiddly in terms of all the little pieces and the setup and teardown to be brought out to like a pub or a restaurant. It also takes up too much space. It might be a little bit too complicated for just any level of or interest of gamer. You're not going to get your kids necessarily to play this. Maybe some of the older ones, but it's not always quite as clear cut. And again, also the variability is not really there. It's going to get stale after. And one small strange nitpick too is that they provide a scoring chart for the orthogonal groupings, but they don't write down what the point values are for like the fruit group, the fruit set collection types, or for the meteors. So you're going to have to look up the point values in the rulebook anyways. So a little bit strange how they did that. So anyways, thanks for watching. If you want to check out my Cascadia review, please take a look and like and subscribe. It'll really help my channel grow. And thanks again.